Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel again, where we're going to have a look at 5 more films out of my high fantasy sword and sorcery collection. 5 really good films today. We're getting into more of the obscure kind of stuff now. Again, if you know this kind of stuff, if you're into this kind of stuff, these are films you've probably seen, probably heard of. If not, then some of this stuff may be obscure as shit to you. You may have never come across it. But they are worth checking out. The films are definitely worth checking out. And the first one is about as weird and odd as they come. And it's a Paul Verhoeven film, so you know what you're getting into straight away. It's Flesh and Blood. Rutger Hauer in this one. Is it Jennifer Jason Leigh? I can never think of her name. Yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tom Burlinson in this. Set in the 15 something is it 1500s medieval England? Yeah, 1500s medieval England, or medieval Europe. Rutger Hauer is the leader of a mercenary group that's hired by different people when they want to strengthen their army up, and they are hired by one lord to go and storm a castle, and while doing so they take a prisoner. That prisoner is Jennifer Jason Leigh. It turns out she's a princess of a king, and they realise they'd fucked it straight away, and this king has said, listen, until I get my daughter back, or even if I do get my daughter back, I'm going to fucking absolutely annihilate you. There's going to be nothing left of you. But Rutger Hauer and Jennifer Jason Leigh strike up a romance in it. For this film for so long in the UK was edited and censored to shit because the sheer amount of brutality and violence and sex that was depicted in it. Typical Paul Verhoeven film, you know what I mean? I don't know what they was expecting, but if you've never seen Flesh and Blood, it is slightly different. You can definitely tell it's a Verhoeven film, but it's quite a brutal take on medieval Europe. Good film, really good film. Next up, we've got the one and only time Lucio Fulci had a stab at the old sword and sorcery kind of stuff, and it turned out it's a good film. It's weird, but it's good. Conquest. If you've never seen this, it's the only thing I can suggest is it's like an LSD sort of dreamscape kind of trip. It's like, it's odd, it's like a nightmare, it's bizarre. It's like there's only 2 colours in the film, and they're like green and purple, and it's like the lens of the camera's been smeared with Vaseline while they were doing it, pumping loads of dry ice in there. It's a bizarre film. It just feels like a fever dream. But if you've never seen it, even if you're a Lucio Fulci fan, and you've thought, well, it's not the kind of stuff he normally does, I'm not going to have a look at it, you may be wrong. Take a look at it. It's actually really good. He probably could have done more in this kind of genre, but obviously chose not to. It wasn't a big hit for him, but it is a really good film. So if you've never seen Conquest, check that out. A big hit now, and again another a true favourite in our household. Princess Bride. Everyone knows this one. Everyone quotes it to high hell. Looks good. Another one that feels epic. It feels larger than it actually is, because at its core, the film is quite small. There isn't a huge amount of cast in it. There isn't a huge amount of storyline. But what there is, it makes it feel epic. It makes it feel a lot bigger than what it actually is. And it's a true classic. It's a classic within the high fantasy genre of film. It still holds up today. It's still got a great following even today. One of my favourite Schwarzenegger films now, and basically the film was carried on the back of Schwarzenegger. It was a shame because it was Bridget Nielsen's film, and you'll see on here he's completely wrong, but Red Sonja, that should have had Bridget Nielsen's name across the top, because it isn't Arnold Schwarzenegger's film at all. It's Bridget Nielsen's film as Sonja, and Schwarzenegger only comes into it a little bit as Calidor. Now this should have been the third outing for Conan, but they couldn't get the rights to use the Conan name within this film, so they had to change his name. They used the name Calidor. It's pretty much the same Conan character. He's very Conan-esque. The sword's very similar, but it was wrong that they used Schwarzenegger's name at the top. It was wrong that they depicted that Schwarzenegger was the main character in this film when he's not. The whole film is around Bridget Nielsen, and the film is actually really, really good. It feels more like it could be in the realms of Willow than any of the Conan films. It feels more fantasy based than it does more sort of hardcore barbarian based like the other ones of Schwarzenegger's. But it is a classic. It is really, really good, and I don't think it ever got the love it deserved. There is a 4K of this out now. I don't know what the 4K transfer is like. I've not actually seen it. But if it's a Studio Canal release, then it should be pretty good. But if you've never seen Red Sonja, it does hold up pretty well. If you like Willow, then I would suggest that you would say that you pretty much would like Red Sonja. And the last one for this episode, a weird film for Guy Ritchie to do, but it's actually really good, and he really takes a genre film, puts his own spin on it, the whole Guy Ritchie spin on it, comes up with an Arthurian legend film, and pumped out King Arthur, the Legend of the Sword. It's really, really good. I was surprised with Charlie Hunnam in this one, because I'm not really a Charlie Hunnam fan. He's okay, he is what it is. He's actually really good in this. It's got that Guy Ritchie feel to it. It feels like it should be in the East End of London. It's got a Cockney vibe to it. You know what I mean? Arthur starts off as like a bit of a braggart. He's a higher muscle. He's a little bit of a con man. He's a bit of a loan shark. But lo and behold, he's got within him the thing to pull the sword from the stone. If you've not seen this version of King Arthur, I highly recommend it. It is really good. I was expecting nothing from this film. I was expecting it just to be a piece of trash, and it's not. It's really, really good. It's filmed really well. It's shot well. If you like Guy Ritchie films, then you'll like this. If you like Arthurian legend films, you'll like it too. So it's a win-win with it, really. So if you've never seen it, definitely check out King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Okay, guys, so that was the 5 for today. So it was Flesh and Blood, Conquest, Princess Bride, Red Sonja, and King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. So for everybody that's tuned in up to now, that have been liking these videos, that have been coming back to see what else I've got in my collection, thank you very much. For everyone that's commented or given me a like, again, thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. If you guys are coming across me for the first time and this kind of stuff floats your boat, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. It helps with all the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. But till the next one, guys, take care. I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.